Hi everyone. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. My husband and I decided to keep our kids home for the next couple of days until we have a better idea of how things are traveling in this beautiful country of ours. So I've had to sort them out this morning. I've had to rush off to the naturopath and it's been a bit crazy. So I've got them sorted out. I've got all my notes. I have my cup of tea in my favorite mug, my Mother's Day mug. And basically, I just wanted to use this as a platform to share some information about how a nutritional medicine can be of assistance at a time like this. Yeah, I just want to help people, basically, and I think this is the quickest platform to get at some information. I want you to understand that I'm not implying that I can treat or prevent a coronavirus infection. This is about general immunity, and I believe that if we can all really take care of our general immunity at the moment, we're going to be able to care for the most vulnerable in our community, and we're going to come out of this a bit quicker and hopefully with a bit more safety and less casualties. So I've come up with 8 things that I'm going to keep it really simple, 8 things that you can do to help you at this time. Some are lifestyle, some are diet, and some are supplements. So follow along if you're interested, and if you have any questions, pop them below or email me as well. I'm always here to help, and I really want to see all my followers and my clients thrive through this time. Yeah, we want to take care of one another. So I guess I want to start by explaining that it's your immune system. So we're working on the innate immune system, and your immune system is constantly at work. So it's not like we're in this clean, pristine environment and then all of a sudden there's this big, nasty coronavirus coming along. We are, at every moment of the day, our immune system is working hard against bacteria, viruses, and different microorganisms or pathogens that are trying to invade our body. And it does a really good job of this. It's designed beautifully. And I guess that my 8 tips are really about giving you some things that you can do to just get out of your immune system's way or to help it do its job better. So here we go. Number 1. I think we all know this one. It's pretty simple, and these aren't necessarily in order of importance. Number 1 is vitamin C. So I think a lot of you will have probably seen that they're trialing intravenous vitamin C in China for coronavirus patients. That's different to what I'm talking about. So they're doing 24-gram doses, which is huge, and you can only do that intravenously. So if you were to take 24 grams of vitamin C, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it is, you would have the most horrific diarrhea. So please don't try it, and please don't jump on the megadose bandwagon unless you really know what you're doing, and you really need to build up gradually. Vitamin C expels, once it's been used, it expels anything it's not going to use by going out your poo, and it can give you pretty explosive diarrhea if you're not careful. However, taking vitamin C is a really great way to just support your immunity in a general way every day as a preventative action. So what I would recommend is probably not using the tablets, because they're usually a pretty low dose and you need quite a few, and they're quite acidic. I remember once my little brother took so many, he had all these ulcers inside his mouth. So I would recommend the powders if you can get them, because you can have a smaller dose. It packs more of a punch in a smaller dose without having to suck on those orange tablets. And you probably want to take a dose in the morning and a dose at night, just for general prevention and good immunity. This is something my family and I do leading up to winter anyway. Any time really, every year we do this. This is normal for us. So if you do start to feel run down, you can increase those doses, but it's really to bowel tolerance, because if eventually you will start getting diarrhea if you have too much, which, if there's enough going on for you already, you probably don't want to add that into the mix. But it is quite a safe supplement to take, and it's suitable for kids as well. You just need to, depending on their size, obviously moderate the dose for them. Number 2, this is a big one. This one is vitamin D. I did a huge paper on this when I was at university. So it's really important. We're in autumn now. It's just started, that by the time winter starts, your vitamin D levels are nice and high. And we don't want like, oh, they're just within range. We want, beautiful levels of vitamin D, supportive levels of vitamin D. So I would definitely be considering, if you've had vitamin D deficiency in the past, or if you're just below, in the low range, I would definitely consider supplementation and getting ready in preparation for winter. I would do that every winter, but now more than ever. I would probably start with, probably 2 doses a day to begin with, and that should be enough. But the most important thing with vitamin D is you really need to get out in the sun, and in the midday sun as much as possible. So you can cover your face and your chest if you need to, but try and get your arms or some of your legs and your upper torso in particular out in the sun. What my kids are doing at the moment is we're having lunch out in the sun every day in the fresh air. So we'll be doing that whenever the weather is inclement and working for us. And that's the best way you can get your vitamin D levels up. It's actually theorized that it's low vitamin D that causes colds and flus over winter. So it's true that if you do have a bit of an infection on your chest and then you're breathing in cold air, it can make it worse. And if there's inflammation, it can make it worse. That's true. But generally, cold weather doesn't cause immune issues. It doesn't cause colds and flus. It's only if there's already an issue there and then you're being exposed to the cold that it can become a problem. So it's actually theorized that, sorry, I've got my notes in the way there, that vitamin D levels and deficiencies in winter are actually more responsible for, I guess, the intensity and frequency of colds and flus we tend to see here in Australia over winter. And Australians are generally pretty deficient in vitamin D. So that's my number 2. Number 3 is zinc, another one that is so common. So many people are deficient in zinc. There's not a lot left in our soil, so the pastured raised animals aren't consuming as much in their diet. We're not getting as much through meat. Obviously vegetarians and vegans are particularly at risk of zinc deficiency as well. And it's not as much in the grains and fresh fruit and vegetables either. So having zinc deficiency definitely leaves you more susceptible to infections. So we definitely want to get those levels back up as well. But it's also great to start early on when you start to feel symptoms to decrease the length and severity of colds and flus as well. So it's a really great one to have in your cupboard. You can take a small maintenance dose each day, and you really need to go and see a healthcare professional to get the right dose for you. Because it's not something you should take in high doses long term. So either go to your local health food store and speak to your naturopath, or if you're one of my clients, talk to me about it, or your own naturopath or nutritionist, and get the right dose for you. But then during those sort of 4 to 5 days when you think you might be coming down with something, you're feeling unwell, that's when you can have more, because it's just short term. Now, please take zinc with food because it can cause nausea. It can be quite awful on your tummy. So please take it after a meal if you're one of those people. Number 4 is probably almost the most important one. So I don't know why it's number 4, but that is rest and sleep. So I think we're all slightly self-isolating at the moment. This is a good chance to get into a nice rhythm, going to bed early. I hate to say times, but it doesn't always work for everyone. But, good 10 p.m. bedtime, no later than that, and getting up when you wake naturally in the morning, making sure you're getting 8 to 9 hours sleep, making sure if you are feeling under the weather that you rest. I know it's easier said than done, especially for parents, but it's really important for your immune function. You know what it's like when we stay up too late and then the next day we think, oh, we're getting unwell, or we have a big event, or we go on a holiday, or we have like this big party or big build up to something happening and this climax, and then we get sick after. It's because we're stressed out and we haven't rested enough. This happens to me. I never learn. But I'm going to be more careful over the next few weeks because it's really important. Number 5 out of 8 tips for immune health is stress management. So this is especially important for all my lovely IBS and gut clients, because stress is a huge trigger for you, and we've all got enough going on right now. You don't want to have disordered bowel motions and awful digestion. That's the least of you. That's the last thing you want to worry about right now. Anxiety is, I can feel it. I can feel the anxiety. I know people are stressed out. I know that this is scary. It's taking me longer to fall asleep at night as well. I know we're all worried. So what can we do to combat that? Because when we're stressed and our cortisol and stress hormones go up, it basically says, okay, there's something serious going on right now. We're going to shut down immunity. We're going to shut down digestion, and we're going to send all of our energy and resources to our limbs and to our heart to get blood pumping so that we can run away from a danger, or basically fight or flight, you know. So managing stress is super, super important. And if you're chronically stressed and you're chronically in fight or flight, which a lot of us are probably feeling right now, we're not feeling particularly safe, or we're worried about our loved ones, your immune function is going to be suffering because of that. So what can you do about it? Sleep, obviously, is going to be really, really important. For me, I find mindfulness or meditation. So I sit down with my Calm app and I put my headphones in. I tell the kids to give me 10 minutes and I will do deep breathing for a couple of times a day. That is really beneficial. Tons of research on how that can help you. Naturopathic yoga as well. So if you're interested in naturopathic yoga, please contact me. Being able to do some yoga from home on the living room floor, also super helpful because you're slowing down. It's great anti-inflammatory for the body, but it's also forcing you to breathe. And the breathing and the really just being mindful and being present with where you're at and what you're doing in that moment is what can help pull us out of that stress mode into rest and digest. So that's really, really important. The other thing is, you know, laughter and fun. You know, let's lay off the dramas and the heavy stuff at the moment. Let's not go and watch the that pandemic film and the Contagion film and that sort of thing. Not a good idea right now. Let's watch comedy. Let's watch funny things that lift us up, make us feel great and excited. IT Crowd, Black Books, they're just some of my recommendations. What other comedies are there? Community, if you like some American humor as well. Let yourself have a good belly laugh, because that also switches off your stress hormones. It just, laughter and smiling sets off all those feel-good hormones, which will help offset that stress hormone. So we definitely want to stay in that mode. Sorry, I've got all my notes here. Uh-oh. Sorry. Number 6. This is important. Balanced diet. I was a little bit horrified to hear that they were selling out of pasta and in the supermarket. If you, let's just say, they've already said that it's very, very unlikely that we're going to lose our water or our electricity. It's very unlikely the supermarkets are going to close. They didn't even happen in China and Italy. It's so super, super unlikely it's going to happen here because we're less likely to get it severe. Let's just say we were stuck on a desert island. Do you think we should have a pasta would be a good sustaining meal to keep us going, or something with a bit of fat and protein, something maybe like a tin of sardines? Which do you think might support you, keep you going for longer, keep you alive for longer if you were stuck on a desert island? It's not the pasta. it's the fat and proteins from sardines, or something of that nature that you really need to be having. Having lots of pasta and refined grains and processed foods is not going to help your immunity. So just lay off that a little bit. There's plenty of fresh fruit and veg in the supermarkets. That's what we want. We want lots of color. We want all those antioxidants. Antioxidants are amazing. They go on this suicide mission in your body to attach to and kill off oxidative stress, cells with oxidative stress, to protect us, basically. So we want as many antioxidants as possible. That means lots of different colors, especially our reds and our yellows and our orange colors, and some leafy greens as well. So some greens each day are really important, cooked and raw. And protein, my goodness, protein is so important for immune function. So making sure you're still getting enough protein. You know, our freezers are going to be on. So if you can get some meat and put it in the freezer, or do a big bulk cook and put it in the freezer, that's the sort of thing you should be eating. I'm actually going to put some recipes together in a week-long meal plan to send out. So if you want that, please PM me and I will email it to you. It's going to be a shopping list and a week-long list of recipes for some bulk cooking and that sort of thing, so that we don't have to worry about that. We also really want to avoid processed foods right now for lots of reasons. They're terrible for our gut health, for starters. And did you know that 80% of immune function, around 80% roughly, is all performed in the gut? So for all my beautiful gut clients right now, please continue your treatment plans. Just stay the course, because we need to take care of our gut health. It's really, really important, because that's where most of our immune function is interacting with different substances in our body. So avoid processed foods because of the preservatives, because of all the junk in it. Let's just try and stick to fruit, vegetables, protein, that sort of thing. Some whole grains is fine as well, but don't over rely on things like pasta and crackers and I don't even know, biscuits, things like that. All right, so there are a few foods in particular that are really helpful at fighting off infections. That is garlic, onion, ginger, and lots of fresh herbs. So they're all really powerful antibacterials. So include heaps of them, as much as you can. You can sip on fresh ginger tea throughout the day. You can mince it up and put it in your food. Garlic and onion, I think we're all pretty good at adding that. And lots of fresh herbs, you know, your oregano, your thyme, your rosemary, that sort of stuff. Add heaps of that in. I know it's small amounts, but they're really rich in antioxidants, and they are wonderful antibacterials. They're really supportive of your immune system and good health. FODMAPers and my IBS people, I'm sorry, I know you can't have onion and garlic, but that's okay, because you can do everything else and you'll be fine. Don't try and add onion and garlic now if it's going to set off symptoms for you, because that's not what you want. Number 7, we're nearly there. Second last thing, avoid substances which depress the immune system. Okay, so there are 3 in particular. The main one is sugar. Sugar shuts down your immune system. It is so disruptive to your body. I'm talking like refined sugar. I know that we're all anxious. I know that we're all tired and stressed out, and I know we probably feel like having chocolate, and you know, we're going to be eating all the long life processed packets of things and stuff, but please avoid sugar. My goodness, the minute my husband and I feel run down and think, oh, we'll stay up late and watch a movie and have some chocolate, without fail, we get sick the next day. We have properly learned our lesson with this. It is really, really bad for your immune function. The second is, and it also depletes, so sugar and alcohol and caffeine, so these are my 3 things that depress your immune system, they all deplete really important nutrients and minerals like magnesium. You want your magnesium in a time like this. We are all under a lot of stress. We want to retain all of our B vitamins and our magnesium to help us cope with this stress right now, and so that we can have a good night's sleep and everything keeps running. So magnesium is really important for tons of biological pathways. So the next one is alcohol. If you have too much alcohol right now, you're really going to be depleting your body of magnesium, and that is like a recipe for anxiety and stress, basically. So we want to keep that magnesium in our system. So yeah, alcohol, I know, I've seen the quarantini memes. I love a good gin myself, but now is not the time to be, you know, self-medicating with alcohol. Let's really use this time over the next few weeks to stay sober-minded, be mindful, connect with others, rather than trying to sort of dull that anxiety. There's other ways we can do that through mindfulness meditation, through laughter, through spending time with our family in our homes. They're the sorts of ways that we should be sort of self-medicating that anxiety, not with alcohol right now, because it will depress your immune system and it will deplete you of really important nutrients right now. And the last one is caffeine as well. So I'm not saying don't have tea and coffee. I'm not a complete killjoy, but just make sure you're having way more water, and make sure you're not having too much and too close to food, because as I said in my post on Instagram a couple of days ago, caffeine does bind to a lot of minerals, and a lot of your minerals are really important for immune function, and we're already pretty low in them anyway, so we really don't want to do that. Sip on herbal teas. Keep doing that. That can make you feel really good. Green tea is fine. It's lower in caffeine generally. You can have a couple of them a day away from food. And, you don't have to cut out your coffee completely, but just don't. I know we're tired, so we're probably, going, coffee. Please don't do that. That's not going to help you right now. And the last one is just simply stay hydrated. So make sure we're getting at least our 2 liters of water a day. Herbal tea counts because it's non-caffeinated, and just plain old water as well. So sipping on fresh ginger tea, especially for a lot of my IBS and gut clients, you might be feeling a bit bloated and sluggish right now. When we're really stressed, it can really switch off our stomach acid, and food can sort of tend to stagnate and sit there and feel quite uncomfortable and cause a bit of bloating and slow motility. So sipping on ginger tea it's great for that. Help keep things moving along. It's also beautiful antioxidant and antibacterial and all that as well. And it's also keeping your throat moist at the moment is really important for your throat health and your upper respiratory health. So just from a preventative point of view, another thing you can do. So I've done something in order to pay it forward to you guys, because I know everyone's really worried about the economy right now, and I know that we are going to see the effect of this on the world economy. So I've decided to halve the cost of my acute consults for my existing clients only. This is my way of paying it forward. So it's only $30 to see me for 20 minutes if you need to discuss anything, if you're worried, if you want to talk about food, if you want a meal plan. Basically 20 minutes of my time to put together a little immune supplement regime for you, whatever you need, just to support you right now. That's already all live on my website, so if you go there and book it through the online booking system, that's all you'll pay. I don't want to put any obstacles in the way of anyone accessing natural health care right now, because I believe that we have a lot to offer for general immunity. And I really believe in my profession, as you all know. So I'm also going to be putting together this weekly meal plan. I'm trying to use foods that are already in your cupboard, and shopping lists, a really simple shopping list as well, things that are easy to get at the moment. So I will hopefully finish that today and get it out. So please PM me for a copy of that. And finally, check on your elderly neighbours, call your grandma. There's a great initiative. There's these pages called Love Your Neighbour COVID-19 Local Connections page. So there's one for most cities and states. Join that and see if there's any ways that you can help people around you, or perhaps you need help, and that's a great place to find help as well. If we stay in this scarcity mindset and sort of become like golems guarding our toilet paper, or our pasta or whatever it is, we're going to have this scarcity mindset, which is going to create more fear for us, which is going to create fight or flight. And as I talked about before, we want to get out of fight or flight. So when we encourage calm and empathy, and we're generous, and we're connecting with our community, it's going to encourage those feel-good hormones, and it's going to encourage other people to feel good and calm as well, because we are going to be okay. We're going to get through this. This isn't a complete disaster. We're going to have access to food. Most Australians are very blessed. We already have a good week's supply of food in our cupboards anyway. We are lucky. We're going to be okay, and we're going to get through this, and there's enough to go around. We don't need to hoard and keep things to ourselves. we are going to come out of this more connected and with more people safe if we stick together and work together. So that's it for me. That's my 8 tips. I hope you found it helpful. Super simple. Please share this. I just want to inform as many people as I can about things they can do. Take care of yourselves, guys, and get in touch if you have any questions or you're unsure about anything or you're worried. I am still seeing clients, but I'm seeing everyone online just as a precaution to keep you safe and to keep our family safe as well. I can provide the exact same service I do online. I already have several online clients, so I'm quite lucky that I was already set up. But I've decided to keep my kids home from school for the time being. So for me, that was more of a practical decision as well, and to protect you guys and to protect my family. So feel free to book in if you need to see me, especially my existing clients. I'd really like to hear from you and make sure you're all okay. Yeah, share this video and let's all stick together and take care of one another. Bye guys, see ya.